Hello everyone, I am Pratap here. This video is about NeoStock version 2.0 update 2. So let me explain the changes I made in the second update of version 2.0 software. And all these changes are related to supply demand zone price action concepts. The first major change is about the report generated by the NeoStock strategy builder. And in this report generation, earlier we didn't have price direction columns. Now I have introduced the price direction columns, mainly to support decision making table. Because in decision making table, we have three important columns. One is zone violation trend, and the second one is price direction, and the third one is curve. Earlier version already we are having the zone violation trend and curve. Now I have introduced the columns price direction in this report, but I grouped all these three columns at one place so that it is easy for you to go through these columns and understand the decision making table in order to identify your bullish trade setup as well as bearish trade setups. You may ask a question, why I did not introduce the column price direction in the earlier version? Once I told you, I have a space issue in this report. So due to that reason, I did not provide it. Now what I did, I moved the date column, and in that place, I was able to add the columns for the price direction. Now I got the space. Now you may ask a question, where is the date? Because each stock is having the date. In all these stocks, the date is same. So that is the reason why what I did, I moved the date to this location. Here, in this header, below the supply demand zone, top-down analysis strategy builder explorer report. Here I added the date. After that, we have the time frame, which time frame this report is referring. And all these reports are generated for which index? Because we are searching in F&O segment. Equity stocks we are searching in F&O, and also few sectorial indices also we are searching. Now it is easy for you to go through these columns, price direction, zone violation trend, and curve. And then with the help of these columns, now you will be in a position to identify the bullish stocks that are supporting bullish trade setup as well as a bearish trade setup by going through these reports. So this is one major change. And the second major change is in the strategy builder. If you look into the strategy builder, I have added one more parameter, bullish or a bearish trade setup. And what is the advantage by adding? Now it is easy for us to generate the stocks that supports either bullish trade setup or bearish trade setup. How we did earlier? Earlier, because we have several conditions for bullish trade setup and bearish trade setup. Earlier, each condition we entered the values and we generated the reports. If you remember, in the month of December, few days we have generated the reports for bullish trade setup and bearish trade setup. At the time I have selected several conditions, and each condition I have generated separate reports. Now what is the advantage we get? I combined everything. Now in just one search, you will be able to get all the stocks for all those conditions that supports the bullish trade setup or bearish trade setup. The only thing is you need to specify a particular condition in this particular parameter. Now let us look into all these scenarios. Now what I am trying to do for daily time frame, I want the stocks that are supporting the bullish trade setup. So here I selected bullish for the daily time frame. See here, the time frame I selected is a daily, and here I selected the bullish. But here also we have a daily. What is the difference? The zones, this time frame indicates the zones you want to display on the screen. The daily time frame related demand zone and supply zones will be displayed. And here this daily indicates the bullish trades search for daily time frame will be performed in the search operation. Now let me click on this top down strategy button. That means I want to filter the stocks that supports only bullish trade setup. You remember bullish trade setup conditions. I have explained several conditions based on the trend, especially the HTF trend should be either uptrend or sideways, and ITF trend should be uptrend. And price direction, mostly ITF price direction should be from demand zone to the supply zone. In those scenarios, it will be easy to identify the bullish trades. And HTF price direction, again it supports in both the directions, but conditions are different. That is what we discussed in our training session. If you are not aware of bullish trade setup or bearish trade setup rules, please go through the training lesson we have completed in the recently. Maybe lesson 13 if I am not wrong, or lesson 14. Please correct me. Or lesson 15. In one of these lessons, we discussed about bullish and bearish trade setups with the help of decision making table. So let me search the stocks that are supporting bullish trade setup. Now the list is filtered. So it searched all the 200 stocks, that includes a few indices, and remaining are the equity stocks listed in F&O segment. The total how many stocks it filtered? 94 stocks. Currently 94 stocks and daily time frame are supporting bullish trade setup. So it's a very big list. So what is the best way to further filter this? Find the stocks near demand zone. So I am selecting near any demand zone, but here the condition is bullish trade setup. Now 4 stocks are filtered. These 4 stocks are near the demand zone. This is one way you can search, or another way also you can search. Instead of near any demand zone, I can also filter based on the percentage also. So here we have a column maximum price percent to reach the zone. So in the daily time frame, you specify the count. Maybe I want just before 3% before the zone. So 3% before the zone. Which zone? Demand zone. So here entry zone you select as a demand zone. So for entry zone, demand zone, 3% before whatever stocks prices are there, all the prices it will list. See now the search is limited to 31. Now you can make even more strict. Instead of 3%, make it 2%. That means these stocks are even more closer. That way you can filter. Now instead of 3, I am changing the value to 2. See now 19 stocks are filtered. Now I don't want any pierced demand zones. I want to eliminate. So set the count, pierced count to 0. For daily time frame, I am setting the value 0, 0. Minimum 0, maximum 0. Now you won't get any pierced. See, now the search is limited to only 15 stocks. Now I want only fresh demand zones. I don't want tested demand zones. If that is the case, again set the test count. So I am setting the test count to 0, 0. Minimum 0, maximum 0. That means only fresh zones will be displayed. If only 7 stocks are displayed, all these 7 stocks are fresh zones. They haven't tested and all are supporting bullish trade setup. But here you see here demand zone to HTF price direction, demand zone to all-time high, ITF also demand zone to all-time high. But next stock demand zone to all-time high, that is a HTF price direction. But ITF direction in ITF time frame supply zone is there. So it's moving from demand zone to supply zone. So demand zone to all-time high, demand zone to all-time high. Especially the second column will give the confirmation. But here I developed this algorithm in quite intelligent way. Sometimes what happens, the price direction could be supply zone to the demand zone or all-time high to supply zone. If that is the case, we will filter that stock. But I don't want to filter because there are some special conditions. What is the special condition? By the time prices reaches to the demand zone, say here our LTF zone is a daily. Our daily demand zone might be having confluence with the weekly demand zone. That is ITF time frame and ITF price direction. That means the daily zone is there inside the weekly. Once prices entered into the weekly, what happens? Price direction will be changed to demand zone to the supply zone or demand zone to the all-time high. That means our demand zone is not outside the weekly demand zone. It is inside the weekly demand zone or overlapped with the weekly demand zone. So in such kind of situation, such kind of zone confluence is there. Even though price direction is from supply zone to demand zone, current price direction. But future price direction will be changed once prices enter into the weekly zone. So why we want to eliminate those stocks? That's why the algorithm will take care of those conditions also. So that is the reason why sometimes you may see, in this list it is not there, but sometimes you may see the price direction, ITF price direction as a supply zone to the demand zone instead of demand zone to supply zone. At the time you should not think how a wrong stock is selected. At the time you have to assume probably for that particular stock, the LTF zone and ITF zone are in confluence. That means the LTF zone is overlapped with the weekly zone. So the moment prices enter into the weekly zone, price direction will be changed. So such kind of conditions also taken care while filtering these stocks in this latest version of the software. So that way the search result works in a smart way and accurate way. Similarly, you can also filter the, now see all these stocks are swing trades, supports the swing trades. See here your entry time frame is daily. If entry time frame is daily, it is a MIT trade, monthly income trade. In monthly income trade, daily is the LTF zone and weekly is the ITF zone and monthly is the HTF zone. So these stocks support swing trades. Those who are looking for swing trades, you can analyze these stocks. Now let us look into the bearish trade setup. Now let me change the time frame to some other, say 75 minutes. Entry time frame is 75 minutes. So 75 minutes is a WIT trade, weekly income trade. 75 minutes is weekly, daily is intermediate time frame ITF, and weekly is the HTF time frame, that is higher time frame. But what we want to display 75 minute zone on the screen. That means LTF zones we want to display on the screen. Okay, which setup you want? Bearish setup for 75 minutes. So go to this parameter, that is a bullish or bearish trade setup. Go to the 75 minutes. Inside the 75 minutes, I am selecting the value bearish because I want bearish trade setup. Now filter the stocks. It displayed 12 stocks. And all these are all bearish trade setup. That means they are more favorable for short trades. But what kind of trades are they? These are WIT trades, weekly income trades. So this is also a swing trade because WIT trades and monthly income trades both are supporting swing. But WIT trade, your targets will be reached in few weeks, and in monthly income trade, targets will be reached in 1 month or few months time period. But remember, if any of these stocks are supporting high liquidity zones, probably the returns will be much faster. That is what we observed in high liquidity zones. So now you can go through this trend, you can go through this price direction. Especially trend, you need to focus on HTF trend, ITF trend. ITF is a primary trend. HTF trend is supportive trend. So in ITF, all these stocks are having downtrend. HTF either sideways or downtrend, either one is supported. It is a justification, additional justification. And HTF and ITF, generally bearish trade setup, the prices should travel from, especially in ITF time frame, the prices should travel from supply zone to demand zone. Bearish trade setup. But see here, you have demand zone to supply zone. What does it mean? That means your ITF zone and LTF zone are having zone confluence. At present, your ITF prices are traveling from demand zone to supply zone. The moment the prices reach the LTF supply zone, the ITF supply zones also will be reached because your LTF supply zone is in overlap with ITF supply zone. That is zone confluence. So by the time prices enter into that zone, the price direction will be changed to supply zone to the demand zone. Remember, this is at present price direction. But the moment prices entered into our actual zone, our entry zone, the price direction will be changed due to zone confluence. Whenever there is a zone confluence, price directions will be changed. So that's why this stock is filtered. What about HTF? HTF can be either demand zone to supply zone or supply zone to demand zone because we trade against the primary price direction. But at the time you have to use the curve. See here the curve is high on the curve. For supplies for bearish trade setup, high on the curve and equilibrium, we can go for short trades in bearish trade setup. So that is the reason why you have all the three columns at one place. Your zone, ZV trend means zone violation trend. And you have a price direction. And then you have a curve. And all these three together, the conditions already there, you have the video. Decision making table, two videos you have. In one part of the video, I explained a bullish trade setup, and another part of the video, I explained the bearish trade setup. I have given all the rules in tabular format. So go through the rules, you will understand. But only one extra point you have to understand is when there is a zone confluence, price direction will be changed. That way we will be able to take the trades. Because sometimes you will be missing some important trades if you are focusing only the current trade. Always you have to, the rule is like this. By the time prices reaches into your zone, what is the actual price direction? That is what you need to consider, but not the current price direction. So that's why zone confluence is a very, very important concept. Okay, apart from that, the remaining columns are they are there as it is. Only thing is I just changed the position. Earlier signal type was just before the zone type, but I placed it after the closing price. And remaining all columns are there as it is. So now you can look into these stocks, you can analyze these stocks as a swing. If you are a swing trader, you analyze. Here you have a leg in for your LTF time frame, you have a leg out date, how many base candles. So take these details. On this day you draw the zone. For example, if you ask me to show one example by making use of this information, so let me open trading view. So 75 minutes zone is the entry. So let me take one stock here. So this is a fresh zone, ICICI Prudential. Moreover, it is high on the curve. So let me open the stock, ICICI Prudential. See here how all these parameters are helping us. Test count always tells if the test count is 0, it is a fresh zone. But you should be careful. Sometimes the rejection count will be there. If rejection count is there, maybe one of the lower time frame zones might have been already tested inside that zone. But anyway, this is completely all 000 fresh zone, high on the curve. The HTF trend is sideways, but ITF trend is already changed to downtrend. Even daily trend is, your LTF, that is 75 minutes trend, is also a downtrend. Supply zone to the demand zone prices are traveling, and here demand zone to the supply zone. That means there is having some zone confluence. Which zone confluence? 75-minute zone is having confluence with daily zone. So by the time prices enter into the daily zone, your ITF price direction will be changed to supply zone to the demand zone. So that is the way we need to understand. At present, prices are in the demand zone. Now prices should, from demand zone till the supply zone, prices should travel. At the time only you can plan the trade. See, by the time when prices are entering, all these parameters should not be changed. Your trend should not be changed, ITF trend. Okay, ICICI Prudential. Already we opened. So what is the leg in ICICI Prudential? That is 17 January 9:15. Four base candles are there. 17 January 9:15. So where is 17 January? So here. So this is considered as a ERC candle, and these four candles are base candles. So this is a 75-minute supply zone. And definitely this zone should be there inside the daily zone. So let us look into the daily. See here we have a drop candle, base candle, drop candle. Or maybe you may consider both the candles are base candles also, in case if you feel this is also a short candle. But it is in between there. Maybe medium or small candle in between it is there. Maybe you can draw like this. There is nothing wrong because we have this is a good enough. Clearly it is a drop candle, two base candles, drop candle. If you consider like this is a daily supply zone. So inside the daily we have 75 minutes. 75 minutes is the LTF zone and this is the daily zone. So by the time prices enter into this zone, price direction will be changed to supply zone to the demand zone. At the same time, we are also getting an entry in this zone. See, all of a sudden, how dynamically the parameters are getting changed. So our software assessed this scenario well in advance. It has taken care of all these conditions. And do the ITF trend will be changed by the time prices enters into this? No, it won't be changed. So this is the way we need to analyze by making use of this information available in these reports. They are your initial reports. But the training lessons you already attended, you gained the knowledge. So as per that, you have to draw your daily zone, even weekly zone also you can draw. Change the time frame to weekly. That is your HTF time frame. So probably weekly also you can draw like this: drop 1, 2, 3, 4 base candles. Weekly supply zone. But see here, we have a 75-minute zone is having confluence with daily. Again, daily is having confluence with weekly. We have a drop, base, drop. This is a powerful scenario, zone confluence. I already explained in the practical session of the zone confluence that trade setup based on the zone confluence. What is a trade setup? It is a powerful trade setup. If zone is there, LTF zone is there inside daily, that means it is overlapped with daily and daily overlapped with weekly. That combination is a powerful combination. They have higher success rate, provide other factors are supported. What are the other factors supported? Our trend is in our favor. Price direction is in our favor. Even location is also in our favor, high on the curve. Why high on the curve? Because all these zones are, supply zones are overlapped. Obviously, it will be high on the curve. When all these conditions are in our favor, definitely there could be more success rate. When it is going to be a dangerous scenario, this daily supply zone is violated, then it is a dangerous scenario because all the statistics will be changed. Your trend will be changed, price directions will be changed. So that is the reason why, as long as all these parameters are supported, it is going to be a powerful trade. So this is the way the reports in the NeoStock software will help you. Now it is easy for me even for generating the bullish trade setups and bearish trade setups while generating the daily reports. So those who don't want to use high liquidity zones or those who wants to combine high liquidity zones with bullish trade setup and bearish trade setup. See, recently we have seen sale in just 3 days. It has given more than 50% profit. That was a bullish trade setup. Sale we have seen last week. In just 3 trading sessions, 50% profit it has given as per one futures lot. Because bullish and bearish trade setups, they are in favor of the trend. Apart from in favor of the trend, I also introduced one more parameter, price direction. And both together is a deadly combination. It is one of the reasons why I took a little time for presenting that particular session. Ultimately, what we want good money. When we want good money, our setup should be very strong setup. So that's why everybody must go through this decision making table. You should not ignore it. It's a very powerful concept. Why it is a powerful concept? If you would have looked into sale trade, the WIT trade, during last week, what we have seen, just given 50% profit in just 3 days. But you have to analyze these stocks properly. Now I have updated the software. Now the results will be much easier for us to understand. My responsibility is to generate these bullish trade setup and bearish trade setup in your daily reports. But I will be generating only you guys are having interest. If you did not learn the concepts properly and if you are not using powerful concepts, there is no meaning in generating everyday reports by wasting my time. When I get motivation, if you people are showing interest, I get the motivation. And then I generate the reports. So that's why if you want the reports, the bullish trade setup and bearish trade setup for WAT and MIT trade setups, that is monthly income trade and weekly income trade setups. That means 75 minutes time frame and daily time frame. I have to generate the bullish and bearish trade setups, these two time frames. If you really want the swing trade related setups, please request in this comment section. Then only I will understand. If more people are request, then I will be in a position to generate. If only just one or two people are asking, and those one or two people also again what they do, they lose interest after a few days. If more people are there, probably it will be useful to you. So based on these your comments only, I will be in a position to generate. But anyway, the software, even if you are not using, I am using the software reports because I am the one generated as per the requirements. I know how to use the software reports. Whether you use or I use, ultimately these reports only we will be depending. If I generate, you will get access to these reports. If I don't generate, you won't get, but I will be able to access. But I have to generate the reports or not, that should be depending on your interest only. But please remember, just one or two people purpose, I cannot. Because I don't know how many of you are really using the high liquidity zones also. I'm not, but I know there are some people are using high liquidity zones. They are making money every day. The reason why I'm thinking about this WIT bullish trade setup and MIT bullish trade setup or bearish trade setups is because I remember few people asked, they don't have time every day to focus on high liquidity zones. That's why they want swing trade setups. These two are swing trade setups, WIT and MIT bullish bearish trade setups. But anyway, but as per our NeoStock latest update, now you got everything in your report. Everything means the essential things. Because all these days I was thinking these columns are missed in our report, but finally I found some space by moving date into the top of this report. So still, if you need any further explanation regarding these software reports or if you are having any questions, please put them in the comment section so that I will be in a position to help you. Actually, one point I thought of telling you in the beginning of this video. Unfortunately, I am telling in the end of the video. See, all these reports, whatever you are seeing in this video, especially the reports generated by the NeoStock software, please watch these reports from large screens. Maybe you can connect to your television screen. Or if you are already having a large monitor, connect to that large monitor. Worst case, not the best case, worst case, at least use your laptop screen. I know the 16-inch laptop monitor is also not good enough to look into all these reports. Sometimes your eyes might get strained. Okay, at least that is better. Laptop screen comparing to your watching from your mobile phones or tabs. They are not good enough because you have so much of data is there in this report. So many columns are there. If the letters are not properly visible to you, then the advantage provided by this software reports, how you will make use of it. I know some people are taking screenshots and then you are expanding that screenshot. I mean, you zoom the screenshot and reading the parameters. Okay, that is the last possibility option if you don't have any other choices. But in case if you have a laptop or if you have a television screens, connect to them and watch these reports. And the second thing is always watch these reports with high resolution because YouTube is supporting HD quality. That is 1080 resolution. So the highest resolution you use so that you won't get any blur in the text. The text will be very clear. If you are using the 720 pixels or 340 pixels, the least one is I think 340 or 320 or 360. Yeah, 360. Or even 240 also supported if I am not wrong. So in those resolution, if you take the screenshots, you will get the blur in the text. If you set a high resolution, then you take screenshot and then you zoom the screenshots. Probably you will be able to see the text properly. But anyway, I am not recommending you people to take the screenshots and watch these reports. Use better screens because all these reports are helping you in getting money. Cannot compromise while getting the money. You should do your analysis in a proper way, perfect way, without any strain. So this is advice I thought of giving you in the just before starting this analysis part, but I forgot it. I don't know how many of you listened the video till this last minute. I know some people just listen first 5 minutes and they just ignore the video. Okay, anyway, this latest update will be a powerful feature for us, and it will give better clarity about the reports and the better better search facility for listing our bullish and bearish trade setups in just one shot. So if you have any questions, please put them in the comment section. And also, if you want bullish and bearish trade setups for on every day for WIT trades and MIT trades, please mention in the comment section. If more people are requesting, then only I will put. If just some 2 or 3 people are requesting, I cannot. The reason is it's taking a lot of time also every day for me for recording the video. Thank you all. Let's meet again in our next video.